It's Tuesday, the 7th of June, and we've got a couple of people from Rito here, Misipeka and Harvey. Misipeka, what's Rito? What's that about?
Rito is a kaupapa which is nationwide now, and it's just to increase youth parliament, youth engagement with parliament.
Right. And Harvey, you do projects. What's your project about?
So this year we're doing a series of short form videos aiming to kind of challenge those negative misconceptions about Parliament and democracy in general.
Right. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's just made by youth for youth.
Sounds a really good way of doing it, and that comes from right at the opposite end of the age spectrum from me. This is made by an old person for everybody, I hope, but actually we know that people who watch Parliament TV are not normally youth. But today at Parliament we start off with questions to ministers. David Seymour to the Minister of Police about what statements does she stand by. Ingrid Leary to the Minister of Finance about reports on the economy. Christopher Luxon to the Prime Minister about whether she stands by all the government statements and actions. Ginny Anderson to the Minister of Police about the tactical response model. Nicola Willis to the Minister of Finance about inflation. Tangi Utikere to the Associate Minister of Health about helping protect Maori and Pasifika who have bowel cancer. The Honourable Mark Mitchell to the Minister of Police about the distress in our communities as a result of some recent gang action. Shannon Halbert to the Minister of Transport about infrastructure projects. Tiana Tuiono to the Minister of Agriculture about winter grazing for cows. Barbara Edmonds to the Minister for Pacific Peoples about home ownership for Pasifika. Simon Watts to the Minister of Local Government about Three Waters reforms. And David Seymour to the Prime Minister whether she stands by all her statements and actions. After question time, we'll go on to the Appropriation Supplementary Estimates Bill, the first reading. That's just catching up on things which the government has paid for, but hasn't quite done the proper budgeting for yet. There's no debate on that. And then there will be a notice of motion about COVID orders, making sure that they're in order. These are orders that have been done in the past. The Paora Healthy Futures Bill, third reading. That's the restructuring of the health system in the name of Andrew Little. The Overseas Investment Forestry Amendment Bill, first reading in the name of David Parker. And we might get on to the three strikes legislation repeal bill, the continuation of the second reading. But sometime today, Parliament is likely to take urgency, which will mean that it'll be sitting tomorrow morning. But that's to do stuff which is not yet on the order paper. So what are you going to be doing for the rest of the day?
Having lunch in the Speaker's Lounge.
Having lunch in the Speaker's Lounge, that's a pretty good place to have it.
And hopefully we'll get on to a bit more filming and creating some good content for you guys.
That sounds really good. So if you, in the future, see some filming that's clearly done by smart young people rather than established members of the gallery, you'll know who's done it.